Hi again everybody, welcome to the last video of the educational section of the members only area, and the subject is carb loading. Carb loading is a very advanced process and it's not something your everyday gym goer would need to do very often. The only time you ever really need to carb load is if you have a specific event like a photo shoot or a competition or a festival or anything you really want your body to look its absolute best for. It doesn't have to be an event. It might be to impress someone on a date or something, or who knows, it really doesn't matter. But the only time you ever need to do a carb load is if you have a specific reason you want your body to look its absolute best. Now, I personally love carb loading because the effect it has on the body I think is amazing, and I'm so fascinated by how you can manipulate your diet and your training to make your body look so good. It really is incredible. So what a carb load is when you consume a very large amount of carbs in a very short period. After you've deprived yourself from carbs for an extended period of time, of your choice, I'm going to use the example of how I would use a carb load for a photo shoot so you have a good understanding of how the process works and what you actually need to go through. So for a carb load to be effective, you need to be very lean. I would say between 6 to 9% body fat at the absolute highest. The leaner you are, the better it works. So what a carb load does, it pumps your muscles up to their full capacity. It brings your veins to the surface. It actually sucks the water that your body is holding into the muscle, which makes them look even bigger. So at the end of the day, after a successful carb load, you look bigger, you look fuller, you're extremely vascular, and your body holds absolute minimal water between the muscle and the skin. All that water gets sucked into the muscle, okay? The carb load lasts for about 2 days, so you have to time it absolutely perfectly to get the full benefit from it. If you don't time it right, your muscles will lose the pump, the water gets released from the muscle and the body goes back to normal. So the timing is crucial. To start the process off, you need to lock in a set date that you want to look your absolute best for, whether it's the photo shoot, the competition, a video recording, an event, or whatever. You need to know the exact date of the event so it gives you a timeline to work with. I want you to watch my video, How to Lose Fat Through Dieting Correctly, because that's the exact process I want you to go through to get lean for the set date. Once you reach that date, you go through the carb loading process I'm about to explain to you. For example, let's say I've got a photo shoot booked in for 16 weeks time. I'll get my base diet sorted, which I teach you how to do in my video, proteins, carbs and fats. And once I get my body used to the maximum amount of food, I start cutting to get lean for the photo shoot. 1 week I'll cut my carbs, the next week I'll increase an hour's cardio, and so on and so on. We've explained that process in previous videos. So in approximately 12 weeks time, I'll be doing around 6 additional hours of cardio per week on top of my 6-day weights program, and I'll still be eating all 7 to 8 meals. All of these meals will still contain protein, but I only keep my carbs in post-workout because you never want to cut your post-workout carbs. For 4 weeks leading up to the photo shoot, so from week 12 onwards, I'll be eating 1 carb meal per day and 6 hours of additional cardio on top of my 6 1-hour plus weight sessions per week. The process is very taxing on the body and it's very hard work, but you can drop a serious amount of fat very fast, which is going to make the carb load work a lot better. Okay? By week 15 of the cut, I'm basically shredded. Like, I've got hardly any fat left. I've hardly got any energy either. So I'm moody as anything. Remember, my girlfriend calls it hangry. And trust me, even for me, I find it so hard not to cheat on my diet. My body is literally craving to eat everything it sees. So depleting yourself of carbs for such an extended period of time is very mentally challenging, but this is what separates the ones who want it from the ones who don't. In the last week of my cut, leading up to the photo shoot, my muscles are extremely depleted of all glycogen because I'm still training so hard in the gym, but I'm not replenishing my muscles with all the carbohydrates. They're not getting the full recovery and they stay broken down. So this is a very painful feeling. Your body aches all the time, all over, and it's very hard to finish your workouts at a good training intensity like normal. You will not lose any muscle in this period because your protein levels are still high and you're still having your carbs post-workout. But if you were to carb deplete for any more than 6 weeks and you did your cut post-work and you did cut your post-workout carbs, then yes, you probably would lose muscle. So the key is to only really carb deplete for no more than 4 weeks at the end of the 16-week period and keep protein levels high and never cut your post-workout carbs. So for this example, I'm going to say that my photo shoot's on a Sunday so that we have a set date to work with, okay? I would continue my 1 hour's weights and 1 hour's cardio per day all the way through to the Friday. So 2 days before the actual photo shoot. And by Friday, my muscles are fully depleted, they've got no glycogen left in them at all, and this is where the carb loading process comes into play, okay? So on Friday, I won't do any weights or cardio, and in all 7 of my meals, I'll have protein, and I will have a high GI carbohydrate like white rice or white potato in all 7 meals. And on the Saturday, the day before the shoot, I'll also do no weight training and absolutely no cardio, and I will have protein in all my meals, and I will also consume a large amount of pure sugar substances with every meal. So I would have something like Cocoa Pops or honey or candy, or basically anything that is pure high-end sugar with no fats, okay? Fats slow down the absorption of the sugar and the protein. The amount of carbs in terms of grams that you're consuming for the carb load is different for everyone. So at a rough guess, and giving you a generic answer, I would say 600 to 800 grams of carbs per day for the carb load should do the job perfectly. On the day of the shoot, I'll drink no water at all, as I want to come in for the shoot very, very dry. I'll cut all my protein, and I'll consume only sugar all the way through till about 1 hour before the actual shoot. Now, as you can see, that's a heap of carbohydrates and a heap of sugar in a very short period, but the effect that this has on the body is absolutely amazing. The simple way to explain what this does to the body is quite easy. Now, because your muscles are so broken down and depleted, when you fill them right up with high GI carbohydrates, the quick releasing carbohydrates, they go from broken down and depleted to fully restored and pumped up to their absolute biggest, just like that. Your muscles are full to the brim of glycogen because you've consumed a lot of sugar. Once you have the sugar in your bloodstream, it gets into your veins and they rise to the surface as well. It look like you got garden hoses under your skin. And they literally are 3 times bigger than their normal size. Your veins pump up like crazy due to the high amounts of sugar. Now, once I'm at the photo shoot, all nicely tanned, hair all done, all pretty, rubbed down in baby oil, then I start doing high rep weights to really pump my muscles up even more. The pump you get and the image you see in the mirror on a carb load, I promise you, is one of the best feelings you will ever have, and an image that you will never get out of your head. You'll never see your body look as good as it does at this point. It's an absolutely amazing feeling. I would honestly consider it a life experience, okay? 16 weeks of hard work in the gym, 16 weeks of sacrificing delicious food, hours upon hours of cardio, all to look your absolute best for that 1 hour photo shoot or competition. It's a very rewarding and satisfying experience at the same time. When I think about how I look after a carb load, it is actually really funny because you will never look that good again until you go through that process all over again. You think 16 to 20 weeks all over again for that 1 day, 1 hour. So after the photo shoot prep, you would normally have a light rest or lower the training intensity for 4 or 5 weeks to let your body recover from that, okay? Now, I will then focus on growing a little bit and working on my weak areas, and then I'll finally go through that process again. So it's actually like 6 to 12 months before you get to see your body in that kind of condition. Now, once you do see yourself in that kind of condition, it changes the perception you have of when you feel and look that good. Without being arrogant, I'm just being honest. I have people come up to me at the gym literally almost every workout telling me how good I look, but to me at that point of time, I personally think I look like crap because I know the feeling and I know the look of how I have looked. So the way I look at that time, I feel like, oh geez, you should have seen me at this point in time. Comparing myself halfway through a bulk to the way I look just after I've completed a carb up is literally worlds apart. There's just no comparison. Once you go through the process and you do it properly, you will understand what I'm talking about. Now, once you've seen yourself look your absolute best, it just makes you hungrier and hungrier to keep getting better and better because that feeling is that good and you feel that good about yourself. It's very, very addictive, okay? Now, once you do it once, you just want to improve, then it consumes you and you become obsessed and it becomes your life, and that's how me and so many other people get addicted to the gym. So when you hear the term gym junkies, that's what people are referring to. If you push and push and push and keep improving. You might be lucky enough to eventually make it and become your career like I have. If you really love something and you become obsessed, why wouldn't you want to do it for a living? You only get one chance at life, and I personally want to be doing what I love for as long as I possibly can. So yes, carb loading does work. It's an amazing process if you do it properly. I really do find it to be fascinating. But for you to be able to carb load and go through this process, you must get extremely lean first, and you must be depleted of carbs for an extended period of time. This does work for both men and women too. Women can do it as well, and it doesn't need to be for a photo shoot. Anytime you want your body to look its best, anytime you want to be vascular or really tight, when you're going on holidays, thin-skinned, go through the carb loading process. If you're watching this video, I'm assuming you're interested in everything I'm talking about, so I strongly urge you to do a proper cut and try carb loading for yourself and just see how you go. You need to learn and experience these things for yourself. I can only tell you so much. Everything I know and everything I'm teaching you I know is correct because I do it all on myself first, and I know that it works. I've seen it happen firsthand. So take the knowledge I'm giving you, apply it to yourself, and learn how your own body works, because everybody is different, okay? You'll find your own little tricks and techniques that work well for you but might not work for others, and for you as an individual, you'll become an expert and know exactly what you're doing. Practice makes perfect. Sorry, I'll say that again. Perfect practice makes perfect. Alright guys, good luck.